Microsoft Thursday released its annual Work Trend Index report, and artificial intelligence was at the center of its findings. The company surveyed 31,000 desk workers across 31 countries. 75% of workers say they currently use artificial intelligence. And perhaps because of that, 45% worry AI will replace their job. Business leaders have the opposite concern. 55% of them worry about having enough talent to fill roles. When it comes to integrating AI with their current workforce, 79% of business leaders say adopting AI is essential to remain competitive. However, in a demonstration of how the training gap feeds the skills gap, only 25% of companies have plans to provide the training they say is so important with artificial intelligence. For more on the way we work, we're joined by Jared Spataro. He's Microsoft's Corporate Vice President of AI at Work. Jared, thank you for joining us. So AI's use in the workplace has nearly doubled in the last 6 months. How is it actually being used?
Well, let's take a step back for a moment. Those stats were great. A good summary of the report. 78% of the AI tools that are being used in work are actually brought in by the employees. They're not sanctioned by the organizations themselves. So it's being brought in as employees are using them for things like looking and summarizing information. They will use it for synthesizing data. Sometimes they are using it for creative pursuits. Just about any place where they could use a little bit of a leg up, we find that employees are using it to get some time back.
So they're using it to get some time back. They're training themselves. Why aren't companies or why aren't companies doing that kind of training and making the workers kind of bootstrap their own lives?
If you look at kind of the diffusion of technology, this fits a pattern for very disruptive but valuable technologies. If you think back to the PC revolution, if you look at the internet, the smartphone, all of those things were brought into the workplace first by individual employees who just got a jump on it. They realized in their consumer lives that it could be useful to them. So it fits the pattern. It takes typically an organization a little bit of time to figure out what to do next. And I think that's the snapshot that you see with this new report, John. We're just seeing that moment in time. I think this year is the year it's going to get very real for organizations.
Is this changing the way we work?
It absolutely is for those who are learning how to use the tools. We were able to identify through our data essentially 4 different types of AI users. And at one end of the spectrum, there is what we call power users. These folks already save 30 minutes or more a day using AI tools. That adds up to over 10 hours a month. And they are saying that it's already changing their flow of work. It's changing how they approach the tasks in their jobs. And it's kind of reprogramming how they approach how they're getting things done. So it is having a big impact. I think we're just starting to see the front end of that, really.
If I'm watching and I'm nervous, I don't have the skills, what are the base level skills that workers should have given the way the workplace looks now?
Boy, it's a great question. Going back to that stat you cited, 45% of workers are a bit worried that that this is going to take their job. And in fact, those who are even using it, 52% of those don't dare tell their employers. So let's talk about just for 2 seconds what those skills look like. First, you need the skills to understand what AI can do well enough to just look for opportunities in your job. Where can it summarize? Where can it write content? Where can it help me make better decisions? Then second, there's what is called prompting, which is just a fancy way of saying learning how to ask questions to the AI. We're typically trained by search engines where the less you put, the better. With AI tools, it's almost exactly the opposite. The more context you give, the better. And then finally, the last one that is really important in this age of AI is actually being a person and being able to pass judgment on what you get back from the tool. You have to judge, is this right? Is it wrong? Is it useful? Do I need to go do some additional research to make sure I can use it? And that's why we call our particular product Copilot. We're always putting the human in the loop. They have to make the final judgment.
And finally, Jared, in terms from the employer side, if they hear that people are doing this on their own, how should employers leverage this new technology to make sure that it's being used well and to advantage what their goals are?
Well, I think if you're seeing your employees using it, that's actually a really good signal. That means you've got innovative employees who are trying to get the job done more efficiently. So take it as a good signal. But then you should start to take a look at some of what we would call the commercial or enterprise grade tools that are out there. This is going to give you the security, the compliance, the control that you need, and especially help you apply it to bigger types of database problems where you're using your own data. So it's an excellent sign. We think it's a really good start, and we would encourage leaders just to jump into the process.
Jared Spataro, Microsoft Corporate Vice President of AI at Work. Thank you.
Thank you.